Hi, I'm Natalie Bouchard, and you're listening to Inside NC Labor, a podcast designed to inform and educate North Carolina citizens on the role that the Department of Labor plays in state government. Hi everyone, welcome to Inside NC Labor. I'm Natalie Bouchard, Public Information Officer.
Hey everybody, I'm Dolores Questenberry in the Communications Office.
And today we are social distancing. I have Dolores on the phone and I'm teleworking. And this is a special public service announcement edition of Inside NC Labor pertaining to mostly COVID-19 or the novel coronavirus. So we wanted to start out by saying we've been getting a number of calls about unemployment insurance and that program. And we wanted to mention that that program falls under the North Carolina Department of Commerce, under the Division of Employment Security. So their website is des.nc.gov.
So generally speaking, we are following the guidance that has been put out by the Centers for Disease Control and the Department of Health and Human Services.
Mm-hmm. They're the main authorities on this subject.
Correct.
But we just wanted to put out there a couple of resources that we have and let people know about events that have been canceled. So a couple of the events include safety awards, banquets have been postponed.
We also had the Mine Safety and Health Conference that was scheduled in March, postponed
until October. And then we had quite a few training events that have been postponed, but we did want to make this resource available. There are a number of webinars online. If you go to our website, labor.nc.gov, and go to the Occupational Safety and Health training page, a lot of those in-person training classes have been replaced by webinars that you can access from the comfort of your home or wherever you are. Those topics include anything from respiratory protection, which is certainly pertinent. There's ergonomics awareness, hazard communication, fall protection, a lot of great topics being covered through those webinars.
And another great resource we wanted to mention is the Department of Labor has a library. We've spoken about it several times, and Nick Vincelli has been a guest on the show. Mm-hmm. But they have a streaming video service. It's free, and there's amazing videos available for employers and employees on various safety and health topics. Mm-hmm. You just have to go online and register. But it's definitely worth your time to go in and take care of that. And while you have some downtime, maybe watch some of these informative videos.
Right. That's a great resource to have for those that are teleworking or not able to attend those in-person trainings anyways. So there's the webinars, there's the library, there's pre-recorded webinars as well. So we just want to get the word out about those. Since we're practicing social distancing, we thought we'd call in Kevin Beauregard, the Occupational Safety and Health Director for the North Carolina Department of Labor. Kevin, how are you doing?
I'm doing fine. It's great to join you today.
Yeah. So in the Communications Division, we're getting a lot of questions about the Occupational Safety and Health Division, and we're wondering, what are some of the challenges we're facing in this situation, and what are some of the adaptations that we're making?
Yeah, since the beginning of March, when we really saw a rise in the COVID-19 reports and cases in the country and in North Carolina, it's had a pretty big impact on our operations, and we know it's had a pretty big impact on operations in most workplaces in North Carolina, as well as most people's lives in North Carolina. One of the things that we're doing, we're recommending to all employers to develop an infectious disease and preparation plan if they don't already have one. Neither OSHA nor North Carolina OSHA has a specific standard that deals with COVID-19 or communicable diseases, but we do feel that all employers have responsibilities to provide as safe as possible workplace for their employees, and this would include potential exposures to communicable diseases. North Carolina's OSH Division, as well as OSHA, NIOSH, CDC, and a number of other state and federal agencies have been working on putting together various guidance documents for employers and employees to how best to respond to prevent exposures during the current pandemic. Many of those things can be found on our website or Federal OSHA's website.
I know we added
Yeah.
some information the other day on our website that the Education, Training, and Technical Assistance Bureau put together. That's on their A to Z topics page.
Yes, if you go on the main labor webpage, which is www.labor.nc.gov, if you add a backslash and put coronavirus all in one word, it will pull up that page. But you can also go to the A to Z topic page and go to coronavirus, and it will pull that page up as well. And we have some links to a lot of other guidance documents, as well as some information that we put on there on ourselves.
That was, they have some good information about the regulations, solutions, and an overview.
Mm-hmm.
So if anybody listening today would like to go and check out that information, it might be helpful to them.
I was just going to say that one of the things we're recommending is that employers and employees follow the CDC guidelines, which are available on our web link. But basically, in the workplace, we like to see employers and employees practicing social distancing, good hygiene practices, maybe rotating shifts so there's not as many people in the workplace at any one given time. And if required, making sure that PPE is available, such as gloves or goggles or masks, and also making sure that areas are sanitized on a regular basis.
How do workers who feel that the protocol is not being followed in the office, but is this something they could file a workplace safety complaint about?
If an employee feels like they're being exposed to any type of safety and health hazard in the workplace, including exposure or potential exposure to communicable disease, and they're not able to get it resolved with their employer, they can contact our complaint desk and file a complaint. Now, what we may or may not be able to do in regards to that complaint will primarily be dependent on what the actual conditions are in the workplace. If somebody in the workplace is actually confirmed to be COVID-19 positive, then that would pose a risk to employees in direct contact with that employee. And so precautions need to be made to make sure that that exposure is not there. However, there's a lot of people that may or may not have COVID-19. They may be exhibiting certain signs or symptoms, but it could also be the flu or cold or some other type of health issue. Now, none of those are good, and none of them are good to be exposed to, but being exposed to the cold has completely different risks for most people than being exposed to COVID-19. So depending on what the actual situation is, and depending on whether or not an employer feels that their safety or health is at risk, they can contact our complaint desk. We may be able to take that complaint. We may be able to process it either formally or non-formally, depending on what the issues or items are.
Kevin, do you have anything else to add?
No, we just want to make sure that people are being as cautious and safety as practicable. This is a fairly new situation for most people in the state as well as in the country.
Mm-hmm.
We haven't seen a pandemic in the U.S. or North Carolina in quite some time, and so there's a lot of information out there. We would just ask that people keep themselves informed and, as much as possible, try to practice social distancing, good hygiene practices, utilize personal protective equipment and sanitizing equipment if you can get it. It's in high demand right now.
Mm-hmm.
And keep open communications with your employer. But should you have serious concerns about your safety and health and feel that you're being put in jeopardy, feel free to contact the North Carolina Department of Labor, and we'll try to give you the best guidance that we can give you.
Great. Thank you, Kevin.
Thanks, Kevin. Pretty much the Department of Labor is conducting business as usual. We plan to issue the labor ledger on schedule. So for those of you working from home, please take time to read.
It's an e-newsletter that is bi-monthly. You can read it from the comfort of your own home in your PJs if you want.
There you go.
Well, thanks so much for joining us, everyone. And be sure to share this podcast around for others that may need these resources.
Thanks so much for tuning in, y'all. Remember, your safety is our priority.